Hi, this is Jorge, head coach at E3 Training Solutions. On video number 2, we're going to continue addressing physiological parameters, and we're going to focus on VO2max. What is it? It's the maximum capacity of an individual's body to transport and utilize oxygen during exercise. More specifically, it's a mix of factors that include how much oxygen the heart can pump and how much oxygen the skeletal muscle can use when we're exercising. This is important because it measures cardiorespiratory capacity, but also the more oxygen we can process, the faster we'll go. It's partially genetically determined, and while some training may improve it, some athletes may or may not respond to this. This is important to remember and to think about. Imagine that movie from 1997, Gattaca.
In the not-too-distant future, our DNA will determine everything about us, what you're capable of achieving.
In the movie, the main character finds out he's an unlucky one without perfect DNA, and thus preventing him to chase his dream. For us, VO2 must give us an idea of potential, and that's why some people are very suited for endurance sports. Some people are lucky ones on the genetic pool, and the rest of us, we probably need to work a little harder. Still, knowing your VO2 max can be useful, and though it's not a good predictor for performance, it gives us an idea for our potential. For responders, it can be improved with training, and for non-responders, it can be a useful benchmark to know as to how much we may be able to improve in the future. How is it measured? Through a progressive maximal test on a treadmill or on a stationary bike, intensity starts increasing gradually until the athlete can no longer continue. This usually lasts between 10 to 12 minutes. During the test, it's measured how much oxygen is utilized with tubes attached to your mouth and special equipment. It basically goes like this. You go from 0 and then intensity starts increasing slowly but surely as you continue to go, in this particular case, running faster and faster and faster. You go through different physiological parameters until you reach your VO2 max, which basically is the point when your oxygen consumption doesn't continue to increase even though your intensity is. At this point, you have reached your VO2 max. Specifically in this graph, we can see that while other parameters like lactate accumulation or speed may continue to improve, oxygen consumption is going to plateau. This is measured in milliliters over kilograms over minute. The higher the number, the higher VO2 max. And though the absolute number is not as important, what is important to know is your speed at your VO2 max. That might be represented as your power or your velocity. For instance, if your VO2 max is, say, 55 milliliters over kilograms over minutes, that might not tell you much, but if you know that when you are at your VO2 max you can sustain around 6-minute miles, that can be more useful and applicable for your training. You can apply this to Philip Skiba's house analogy. Basically, your house is a representation of your fitness, and at the top you have your peak anaerobic pace or power. The attic is your power or velocity at your VO2 max, and the first floor is the power or pace you can sustain at your maximum lactate steady state. Knowing your power or velocity at your VO2 max, now you can do a little bit of training to try to push it up. And even if you're a non-responder, at least now you have an idea of your potential as to how much you may be able to increase other parameters. In summary, VO2 max is the maximal amount of oxygen we can transport and utilize during exercise. It is measured through a gradual test with special equipment. It can give us an idea of our potential. When you see a P or a V with VO2 max, indicates what's the power or velocity you maintain at your VO2 max, and we can utilize these concepts in our training. In coming videos, we'll teach you how to estimate these with field testing and how to apply these for your training. For now, thank you.